Hello, hello. Welcome to this week's Google Hangout. Um, uh, just before we get going, I want to show you the hashtag again. Today we're talking about how to create a compelling pitch. And if you have any questions, please join us on Twitter by tweeting GoGo Workout, and we will answer those questions live on this Hangout. We've got some people retweeting already, so please join us. So, a pitch. I brought the guy to talk about it today. This is Brett. Brett, what's your position here at Indiegogo?
I'm a senior strategic accounts manager, and I work with a lot of our partnerships at Indiegogo. So if you ever go onto the browse section of Indiegogo and you see a list of all of our partner galleries, that's me.
Oh, right. Congratulations, Brett. So what makes you qualified to talk about a pitch at Indiegogo?
Well, I've been at Indiegogo for about a year now, and I've worked a lot with some of our higher profile campaigns, so some of the most funded campaigns you see on the site, as well as a plethora of other campaigners I've worked very closely with in terms of supporting and just reviewing the numbers, the stats. We actually have a data insights team that pulls a lot of really useful information. If any of you have ever been on our blog, you've probably seen some of those stats, but I'm constantly analyzing those numbers and statistics and trying to figure out what creates a really successful campaign. And if you've sat on any of our other webinars, I actually ran a lot of our educational webinars before as well.
Yeah, so you're the guy to talk to.
I'm the guy.
So he knows insights. He's got the partner thing is really interesting because we work with a lot of partners too. So there's a lot of individual people that launch campaigns on Indiegogo, but we also have a lot of organizations that Brett is constantly teaching about how to get the most out of their campaigns. So a pitch, what exactly is a pitch?
So a pitch is pretty straightforward. If anybody's in the professional world, you've probably had to pitch your business, you've had to pitch fundraising. If you're in school, there's a number of different definitions, but at Indiegogo, a pitch is simply telling your story. And on Indiegogo, there's two ways you can do that. You can do that through a video, and you can do that through a written pitch. And in both ways, there's a lot of different tips and best practices, but overall, whenever you're telling a pitch, I always tell people the keys are being honest, transparent, and authentic. Regardless if you're doing videos, written, whatever it may be, keeping those three things in mind are really going to help you be successful.
Cool. So I was thinking that before we got started, maybe we show an example of a video pitch. So kind of frame the conversation, then maybe we could react to that and talk about what's good about certain pitches and that sort of thing.
Sounds great.
Cool. So I'm just going to screen share. Just give me a second, everybody. So what are we about to watch?
So this is a pitch video for the Great Sambino, and this is a great pitch video. Again, number one, first and foremost, it's a video. So for those of you who are new to crowdfunding or thinking about maybe you have the option of adding a picture, but campaigns that actually add videos for their pitch will raise, I believe it's 120% more funds than those without. So it's always good to include a video. It's good to make it compelling, engaging, and we'll just play this one and we can talk a little bit more about it.
Yeah. I also like cute things, and this is a cute thing, and so I really appreciate it. So we're just going to pull this up and take a couple minutes and watch this and then talk about it.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is the Great Sambini, and this is my assistant, Booger, the magic ferret. About twins, a great feat of magic. With one stroke of my magic wand, I'll make this ordinary ferret disappear. Shazam! Didn't work.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot to tell you. We had to cut that trick. We can't afford it.
The trick was cut? But how much money do we need?
Well, about $10,000.
$10,000? But how are we going to get that?
I don't know, Sam. I'm really sorry. I don't think that we can.
I know! I'll use magic to make the money. If you're need a volunteer from the audience. Yes, you! Every ferret needs a forever home. Please make sure a ferret is good for you before you get one.
Great. So that's the first video. That's cute, right?
Yeah.
The great Sam Beanie. You want to tell me why that was a good pitch?
Well, you know what I loved about that video was it was simple, it was sweet, and it was heartfelt, and like you said, it was cute. I mean, anytime if you go on YouTube and see any videos, anything that has that kind of cuteness effect will certainly help. But that's really also dependent upon your project. So if you're engaging in a serious project, you know, maybe you're raising money for a serious issue, or you're starting a business, you might not have the luxury of having a ferret and a cute little kid in your video. But again, you know, the keys to that one was it was very honest, it was transparent. They said, hey, this is who I am, this is what I'm raising money. But most importantly, it was fun to watch.
Yeah, they also gave people an idea of what the project is going to be in the pitch video too. So it was a creative pitch video. You know, it's going toward a film, right? Where those are going to be some of the characters in the film too, right? So it's interesting there to make sure that your pitch also captures the spirit of whatever you're funding as well.
And you know, one thing I would say that video could have done a little bit better was get a little bit more into the details of why they're raising money and where is the money going. So I think it did a great job engaging the audience and really saying, hey, I want to watch more and see what this is about. And ultimately, it'll probably lead myself and others to actually go and read the pitch text to see what the details are. But I always think it's a good idea to try and get the point across in both your video and the pitch.
So you're just talking about, you know, telling a little bit more about where the money's going to go. So right before we watched the video, you named 3 sort of key parts of a successful pitch.
Mm-hmm.
And one of those was transparency, which I think you're talking about there. Do you want to unpack that a little bit? Why is it important to be transparent, and how can someone be transparent?
Sure. Well, you know, crowdfunding is such a unique way to engage complete strangers. I mean, here you have this chance to really promote yourself and your ideas and your concepts to the world. And if you're not transparent, people aren't going to trust you. And so it's really important to build that trust as quickly as possible with the rest of the world to showcase, hey, I am who I say I am, this is what I'm doing, and this is why you can believe me. And only by establishing that trust and then through transparency are people going to feel compelled to give.
So what are ways that people can sort of talk about transparency, or how can they actually do that?
Well, first and foremost, just be honest with why you're raising money and where it's going to go. You know, a lot of times you'll see some campaigns that are really vague about why they're raising money. They might have some arbitrary amount. You know, hey, we're raising $100,000, but they never tell you why they need $100,000. And it's important to be specific. So if you're raising $50,000, how did you get to that number? Why do you need that money? Where is it going? And what happens if you don't hit that number in some cases?
Cool.
So yeah, those are all really important. And by doing that, you're now breaking that initial barrier that exists between you and a complete stranger.
That's good. That's good. What about what else? What else is there? So you're talking about like where the money's going, what the purpose is, and then what about talking about yourself? Is it appropriate to talk about yourself, or like what do you have to say about that?
Yeah, I mean, it's not only is it appropriate, but it's completely important. I mean, if again you're talking to complete strangers, so establishing that trust also comes down to not only your project, but who you are and why you're going to be successful. So a lot of times I tell people, make sure you get in front of the camera. I can't emphasize that enough. Make sure you are in front of the camera. People invest in people, not necessarily in projects.
Mm-hmm.
So by getting in front of the camera, telling your story, telling how passionate about this project you are, why you're passionate, but then also getting a little bit into your background. So what makes you experienced, and what makes you make people believe that you're going to be able to pull this off. And so it's almost like you're pitching to a pool of investors.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you are essentially pitching to a pool of investors, except for they're giving you the money without any sort of equity investment. So something like a Shark Tank, you have to have a smart plan. And if you can showcase that, hey, I've given this some thought, this is why I'm going to be successful, look at my past track record, here's where the money's going, and here's what you get for your contribution.
That's good. So perks, talking about perks in the pitch as well.
Definitely. Perks are, I mean, it's one of the main reasons why people give. I mean, there's a whole slew of reasons why people give for different types of projects. But perks is one of the unique things that makes Indiegogo really interesting and compelling. And a lot of times people have amazing perks. I mean, if you've seen some of the film campaigns where you can actually land a role in a film. Some of the music campaigns, you can actually record a track on the record. You can actually show up to a cast party or an event that might have otherwise been completely exclusive. So these are amazing things that people otherwise would never have access to. So making sure you showcase those in the video and in the pitch section. If you have images of some of the perks, if you're producing a product and this is some amazing new innovation that people haven't seen before, if you have even a concept drawing, or if you actually have a prototype, get a picture of it, get a video of it, talk about it in both the video and the pitch section. Because the more visually appealing you can make things, the more compelled people will be.
Yeah, people don't have attention spans either, so I think it's good to talk about a lot of this, you know, like go through, talk about perks, talk about yourself, your track record, what the project is, but making sure you're doing it succinctly, right? Because people aren't going to sit there and watch a 10-minute long video, right?
That's a great point, yeah. I think, you know, the key thing, as you mentioned, is to be short and sweet and to the point. You have two types of people. You're going to have those who come to your campaign and immediately want to just watch your video. And then you have those that will scan through your pitch first and see if it's worthwhile spending a few more minutes on the video. And either way, keeping it short and sweet is the key. And the video, our stats show that across all of our 100,000 plus campaigns, the most successful campaigns have a video that averages around 2.5 to 3 minutes max.
So pretty short. And so the Great Time Meeting was kind of cool because it got your attention right away. And so do you have any sort of like tips for a video specifically?
Yeah, so again, you know, think about sales in a way. Sometimes you may only have 10 to 15 seconds to really grab someone's attention. And so you want to try and do that as quickly as possible, either in your video or in your written text. I actually have an example here of a video that does that very quickly. And we'll take a look at this particular campaign. Didn't end up reaching its goal, but there's pieces of all the campaigns, I think, on Indiegogo that you can pull out. And this one in particular has a great eye catcher and opener.
I'm into a viewing party. So let's watch a couple more and talk about them. Yeah? Okay, cool.
So this one we're about to watch is called Lizzie the T-Rex Needs Your Help to Come Home. So right away, even the title itself is pretty interesting, right? I mean, the Tyrannosaurus Rex needs your help to come home. There's an image of a burning Tyrannosaurus Rex. Right away, I'm engaged and thinking, what the heck is this?
Okay, so let's just take a little view here.
Okay, I'm just gonna pause it right there. So before we even get into the video, I mean, that was just, I think, 10 seconds of a scrolling text, something you could easily do at home on your computer and using basic, you know, you could even do it using PowerPoint, I think. I mean, there's a lot of simple tools. But right away, it says, there's a Tyrannosaurus Rex, they've been extinct for millions of years, and we will make it walk again. And right away, I'm just thinking to myself, what the heck are these guys talking about? I gotta see more to see what this is all about. And so if we look at this campaign, you'll see that their written pitch isn't actually that engaging in the sense that it's not very illustrative. There's not additional links to videos or...
There's no images here. I feel like it needs to have a little bit more... I mean, if they're talking about a T-Rex, why not show us an example of what you're trying to make? That could be good.
I mean, they have some amazing photos of what this thing will actually look like and their concept. And if we watch a little bit further in the video, they actually get into... you know, some of the process. And I think if they would have illustrated that a little bit more in the pitch, it would have helped make it a little bit more compelling.
Great, so maybe take a look at another one.
Yeah, so now let's go to another one. So Wemoto Motes, little wireless helpers for your life. Again, you know, the title here is pretty clever in the sense that, you know, it engages you. This is a little bit more technical of a product. This is actually a remote control iPhone app sync that tells you temperatures in certain areas. It can tell you temperatures of your plants and rooms. Lots of different cool, fun uses for it. But again, they lightened it up a little bit. They said little wireless helpers for your life. Immediately that brings in a wider audience. It speaks the common speak. so to say, and it says, okay, let's go ahead and take a look. Now, the thing that I like about this, while it's playing, is that this is a great example of video that's a little bit lo-fi. It doesn't require, a lot of people think you need to have a huge budget for creating your video. And you really don't. I mean, if you have a compelling idea, you can make a very basic video. As you see here, he's just standing in front of, it could be his iPhone, it could be his camcorder, and he's got some lighting, but it's very, very basic.
Wi-Fi has a number of constraints. The battery life isn't great, and sometimes the configuration of both the device and the access point can be problematic. More recently, when my son was born, we wanted to find a way that we could easily monitor the temperature in his bedroom, and were disappointed to find that there was no low-cost, easy way to do this from an iPhone or an iPad on the market. It was at that point that I came up with the idea for Motes. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about Motes and what they do in the following video.
So as you can see here, this is great. He established the problem. He said there was an issue. I ran into it personally, and I thought there's really a need. And so he establishes that early on in his video, and he's telling it to you in person on the camera. Now he's getting into his video, which, you know, some might think there's some pretty good production quality. I bet he probably did this himself with some of his own software on his own computer. And you can make pretty interesting and professional-looking videos nowadays with free software on the internet. If you have a Mac, they have built-in software with iMovie and a bunch of different things that really allow you to create interesting and compelling videos.
I like how he is targeting the Bennett, like sort of like it's tiny, it's stickable. He's making a big concept or a complex technology really understandable to people, and demonstrating a lot of uses for it as well, which could be cool.
Yeah, and if we skip ahead a little bit in this video, he gets into some of the stats here, but he really talks about, he shows you the product. So he's showing you what the app looks like, he's showing you what the product looks like, and then at the end here he talks a little bit about some of the perks, which in this case it's pre-selling some of the perks, so you can get these at discounted rates if you pre-order with him. Another nice thing is that if you scroll down to his pitch, immediately you see that it's visually compelling. I mean, you have lots of fun little illustrations, and you have the reason why is he raising money, what can you use the product for. If you scroll down even further, he'll show you different images of the different uses of the product. So it does a really great job establishing who he is, what the product is. And if we scroll all the way down, they'll even tell you how he's using the money and what some of the risks and challenges are.
Well, that's great. So he's transparent, he's introduced himself, he's talked about his kid, and then he's talking about the technology with some really cool visuals. And then featured the publications that have written about him too.
Yeah, this is a great piece that I always like to point out, because sometimes people, they have a little bit of trouble talking about themselves, and some people think it's bragging about themselves. But you want to brag about yourself. You want to put yourself on the spotlight as much as possible. And advertising your press coverage is a great way to do that. So if you have an interesting product or project that you've been working on and it's been featured, even if it's on blogs or media sites that you might not think are that widespread or wide known, put them on here. Try and grab their logo. Anytime you can showcase these things, it tells other people that might not know you, hey, this is a good idea. Other people have recognized it. It's worth it in your investigation, and it's worth your contribution.
Cool. Let's take a look at another one too. So that we've gone through a technology campaign, we've seen a movie campaign, we've seen a creative project for Burning Man. So what's this one?
So this one is a Monarch Bar expansion. So this is actually a bar just down the street from our headquarters here in San Francisco. And they've been running this bar for quite some time, and they were looking to expand it and grow it. They've gotten an opportunity to grow into some new space. So let's go ahead and take a look at this.
Hi, I'm Chris.
I'm Ted.
I'm Manny. And we are the founders of Monarch.
We're reaching out to you with this Indiegogo campaign because we're expanding the upstairs bar and we need your help. But before we do that,
let us and the rest of the Monarch team tell you a bit more about this very special.
So before we go any further here, one thing that I wanted to point out is right off the bat, they're in front of the camera, they're telling you who they are, why they need your help, and where the money's going to go. And now they're going to get into a little bit of their backstory. So again, it's important to really bring someone in, tell them why you're doing this, and then you can actually get on the details. Because once you have their attention, they're more likely to follow through, listen to the rest of your video.
Monarch is a unique space in the heart of San Francisco's Soma District.
It combines a Victorian-inspired craft cocktail lounge on one floor
and a space downstairs for live music and DJs.
It's really two distinct venues in one.
We had a lot of fun creating Monarch, working with local designers like Scene 2 and Robbie Polacek,
who helped to create the overall feel of the space.
We set out to create a totally unique experience where patrons are constantly engaged by fun surprises.
Fun surprises. Fun surprises.
Full of fun surprises. Like this one. La 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 da.
So they get a little silly here, but it's important to have fun on this. I mean, if this is your passion, your project, let that passion come through. And you can tell they're having a good time with this video. It's not super serious, but at the same time, it's getting the point across. And it's also lifting the curtain a bit. You know, a lot of people who've been to Monarch might have just known it as a bar, and they might not realize the amount of work and the amount of time that they actually spent into creating this environment, this unique environment that's completely different from a lot of other bars. And so it really engages you and makes you relate more with this bar, and it probably creates stronger patrons in the long run as well. You know, I certainly didn't know a lot of these things about Monarch, and now every time I go there, I actually have something to talk about with other people over there. So they did a fantastic job with their video. We won't watch the whole thing here. But if we scroll down, again, you'll probably notice right off the bat, it's visually engaging. They have some of these infographics. You know, they use different size font. A lot of times, folks, when they're going through the campaign, you can tell that they're active and dynamic. So, you know, one thing you have to realize is when you launch the campaign, you're not just flipping the switch and hitting go. You need to be actively engaged, reacting to people's comments, posting updates, celebrating the milestones when you reach certain goals, and they've done a fantastic job with that here. Now, it gets a little bit more dry as you scroll a little bit further down, but again, you know, depending on your resources and your experience, you may be stronger in certain areas than others. But I highly encourage everyone to just browse through some of the most funded campaigns on Indiegogo, and you'll see a variety of different pitch texts, pitch videos, and so forth. You can see a lot of these tips in action.
Yeah, this is something I hear a lot. It's like, you know, don't try to make the campaign on your own. There are people that have been doing campaigns on Indiegogo for years, and you can actually see what works and what hasn't worked, and get inspiration from what's already out there. And this is, again, this is a bar, this is a club, so all the visuals are trying to capture that energy of what they're making, which I think is important, again, to go back to the spirit, whatever you're creating.
Yeah, and two things about this as well. One, they actually had images of their perks, which I think is fantastic. So one of the perks is a sweatshirt with a Monarch label. Another one is a gift card. You can see they have a really cool gift card that you can use. So showcasing those perks, especially the interesting perks, is really important because, again, a lot of people are visual with short attention spans, and it's important to capture them.
Cool.
And then real quickly before we jump off this, another thing I wanted to point out, it's a small thing, but I think it's really important. All of the team members on this campaign have uploaded profile pictures. And again, in this age of building trust and transparency with complete strangers, people want to know who you are. So if they come down here and they see a bunch of these blank icons or logos, they're not going to know, they can't connect with you. Whereas if you put an image of yourself, and if you actually go to this person's profile, you can read a little bit of their background and their history. All these things help build trust and engagement with your audience.
The little things. Okay, so Black Rose Code, this is another one that's running right now. And they've been seeing a lot of activity. I manage the social media here at Indiegogo, and I see a lot of people tweeting and sharing this campaign. So they've definitely successfully got people interested in what they're doing.
Yeah, and one of the things, again, right off the bat, very visual, very interesting. Right away I'm saying, okay, about this project, I want to check this out and see what's going on. You have some images of some of the girls that they're actually working with. If we scroll down, I love how they bring out the headlines of each section. So about the project, our story. If we scroll down, Summer of Code, what does that mean? Awards and accomplishments. All these things really stand out. So it's easy to scroll down and pick out the things of interest, as opposed to having to really pick and go through.
Like a large block of text. Like
Exactly.
They've been able to break it up really nice.
Exactly. And again, they showcase all their press coverage here, which is fantastic. And as you can see, most of them have their images uploaded to their profiles.
Very cool. What about their video? Did you like their video?
I did, yeah. Let's take a quick peek in their video here.
My name is Anise and I love Black Girls Code. My name is Aita and I love Black Girls Code.
My name is Abby, and I love Black Girls Code.
My name is Keiki Valley and I love Black Girls Code.
We are Black Girls Code.
I think the world needs a Black Girls Code because I think there's only 3% of women in the computer science field. I think other girls should have the opportunity to go to Black Girls Code because it's really fun and it's a very good learning experience. When I first went, I didn't really want to go, but it was just like something my parents wanted me to do, so then I went and did it, and it was actually really fun. What I like about Black Girls Code is the teachers, like they have like a lot of enthusiasm, so which makes us want to thrive and move forward.
So another thing that they did here really well is that they established the need. They told you a really interesting statistic at the very beginning of the video about there's less than 3% of women that actually code in the professional workforce. And of that, I'm sure the percentage is even smaller for minority women. So they did a great job. Now they've got personal testimonials from some of the students that participated.
Yeah, and there's an emotional quality to this as well. You know, like you've got these girls, and you feel for them already. So I really like that in this video.
Every girl should be given the opportunity to know that they too can dream big and change the world.
Black Girls Code is not just a program, it's a movement.
Contribute to our campaign. Help us bring Black Girls Code to your city.
To your city. To your city. To your city.
If you want to learn more about Black Girls Code, stay tuned and watch the trailer to the short documentary clip on Black Girls Code.
Cool. So this is one where it's like they've got the pitch, and then they have a piece of, you know, a larger story that they're telling.
Yeah, and I think this would be the one instance, you'll see this in a lot of film campaigns, where you could and probably should go over the 2 to 3 minute mark. Because again, it's very important for that first part for you to be in front of the camera, tell your story, why you're raising money, where it's going. And then if you do have a trailer, you know, some piece of content that you also want to showcase, you can tack that on to the end. So I always like opening up with the guts of the campaign and then end with the sexy stuff that, you know, that'll really capture people and kind of make them contribute.
Cool. And then you can also get creative, right? I like this next one because I know it's coming next. Everyone, I like this next one. It's very cool.
Yeah, so obviously one of the best things you can do is create a very creative and unique campaign video. And it's getting a little bit harder to do that because crowdfunding is becoming much more mainstream nowadays, but you can always be creative. You can always stand out from the crowd. Sometimes it's as simple as just the way that you film. And this one in particular is from a filmmaker in Singapore. And he did something very unique with his pitch. So we'll let you guys watch this through here because it's fantastic. By the way, I should mention it's a little bit graphic, so if you do get a little queasy, I think this is the extent of the graphicness, but just want to put that warning out there.
What's the rest of it? What's the rest of the money, Mr. Filmmaker?
I don't have it.
You don't have it? You listen to this fella? I thought you Mr. Big Time Filmmaker.
Oh, you mean this guy's a filmmaker?
Yeah, but they suck! Hey bro, you better tell me where the fucking money is. Bad things are gonna happen.
I don't have it.
Give me the hammer.
What? No.
You think you're tough? No.
We'll skip forward a little bit.
We didn't forget that part.
If you want to watch the whole thing, you can come look up the body on Indiegogo.com.
See yourself.
No. I can get the money.
They don't get it.
Oh.
I got friends. But people I know, they'll get the money to me.
You have friends that are just gonna give you $20,000?
I'll tell them I'm making a movie. Yeah, a crime movie, right? We don't get many of those kinds of movies in Singapore, so it'll be good, right? They'll believe me, because I'm a huge fan of the genre. They know I can make the kind of movie they'll believe me, yes.
What's the story about?
It'll be about two guys trying to get rid of a dead body. A young guy, he's got a dead body in his living room, and an old guy, is going to help him. They're not friends, but you need to work together to get the body out of the room. Yes, yes.
That's it.
If you guys want the money or not,
Okay, fine. Just tell us how they're gonna get the money to you.
they can go to an Indiegogo website. Flash the address at the bottom of the screen. www.indiegogo.com, the body. Yeah. We have a deal? Okay.
Nice.
So again, a completely different and unique way. When this came out, it was a first of its kind. Got a lot of press about it, but this appeared to be a film trailer for his project. But then, as you can see, it was actually his pitch video, and all in a single video. He establishes his expertise by showing you, hey, you can make a great film. I mean, look at this trailer right away. He tells you what the movie is going to be about. He tells you the amount of money he needs. So it tells you all the basic things that you need in a very compelling way. And obviously, filmmakers have a little bit more tools at their disposal in terms of making their pitch videos. But it just shows you how you can think a little bit outside the box. If we scroll down and look at his pitch, you can see, again, right off the bat, we see an IndieWire blurb and showing that, hey, they've had press written about them. They've got a lot of different positive things going on. And then, it's a little bit more basic down here, but he's got who is Kenny G, what is the body, how much does he want, what's next, and so forth. So he's got all the guts of what you need in a good pitch.
And he was able to successfully fund the project.
He was, yeah. I think they're in production right now, and I'm actually really excited to see this film come out.
Yeah, I think it'll be fun, if you like this sort of thing, of course.
Right.
So I'm seeing that people are tweeting some here. If anybody has any questions, I don't think that we can review anyone's particular pitches during this, but if you have any questions about a pitch or about an approach, just tweet with the hashtag #GoGoWorkout, and we can help answer any questions. So we're going to take a couple minutes to do that. Are there things that we haven't talked about, Brett, that you think you would want to, what's your advice when talking about money? When talking about the money that you need to raise or the reasons behind it?
The biggest piece of advice I can give is kind of a silly little line, but don't solicit, elicit. Crowdfunding isn't about begging people for money. A lot of times people compare it to,
if you're asking for money, you're doing it the wrong way, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
If you're asking for money, you're doing it the wrong way. This is your chance to connect and showcase your passion. So it's about inviting the crowd to join you and making something truly special happen. And they get something for it. It's not like they're just contributing and that's it. You might have some really cool perks. You might have some cool experiences that they get involved in. Or they just get the satisfaction of knowing that they're helping you fulfill a dream. And whether that's your own individual dream or it could be something that's going to be beneficial for society at large. Those are the things that you want to focus on, because if you focus on, hey, I need $5,000 to do this, I'm really sorry to bother you, and things like that, then you're going to get a similar response. Whereas if you're excited, you're passionate, like, this is incredible, I'm going here, I would love to have your help, here's what's in it for you, people will respond to that.
Nice. Well, it looks like people feel happy with what we've shown them today. Thank you for walking us through those projects, those campaigns there. Right, so, what, you were going to say something else?
Well, I think, just I guess to kind of summarize, I know we've talked about a lot, but again, if I had to leave you with a few key takeaways, number one, be honest and transparent about why you're raising money, how much you're looking to raise, and where it's going to go. Talk about yourself and your team. Make sure to tell your background, why you're poised for success. Talk about your perks, if you have perks, and I highly recommend having perks unless you have a cause-related campaign. And then let the viewers know how they can help. So a lot of times, you're asking for money, but that's not even necessary. Just getting them to spread the word, telling their friends, their family, posting it on social media, all those things are going to help engage other people towards your campaign. And then thank your funders. Make sure as the campaign is going on, again, it's a dynamic beast. You want to be interacting with people, thanking them for sharing, for contributing, Even in the pitch, thank them already, even though you haven't even spoken to them yet. Say, pre-thank them for what they're about to do. And then lastly, be as creative as possible. Try and step outside the box, be yourself, let your passions shine through, and just have fun with it.
Yeah. Well, that's good advice. That's good advice, some key tips. And then just to wrap this up, this video is going to be up on our YouTube page within the next hour or so. So Indiegogo on YouTube. You show it to anybody you want. Appreciate it if you share it around. Brett doesn't give this away for free, except right now, I guess. And then follow us on Twitter, Google+, or Facebook. We're always sharing tips, cool campaigns that are happening, all this sort of thing. And then each week, every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Pacific, we're going to be having another workout, campaigner workout. I don't know if you saw our sweatbands here. Yeah, get it, Brett. And next week, it's about how to fund a sort of, let's say you want to go on an adventure and you've got a grant. And you need to fund a portion of that grant, or you're working with an organization. We're going to have a couple of our campaign specialists talk about how to do that and some tips there. So just stay tuned, and thanks for joining us.
Thanks, everybody.
Woo. Okay, bye.